So that was a big win for the Cleveland Browns, wouldn't you say, Evan?
So yeah, that was a really big win for the Cleveland Browns. The Browns are now 6-3 with a chance against this a very possible chance to go 7-3 at home against the Steelers. The Steelers are good, but especially on offense, let's face it, they're not world beaters. They're actually very evenly matched teams in terms of defense and stuff. So that would be an interesting one. But obviously, when we had this talk about the Browns, when we introduced this topic, we were thinking we were going to talk about how far the Browns can go, right? And I don't actually think that's changed that much. So let's take a look at the Cleveland Browns, right? So you have Deshaun Watson 2 days ago who is out for the season now. He's been on and off injured. He's only played in 11 games in the last 3 years, right? Obviously because of the scandal, and now because of injuries, he keeps getting hurt all the time. But there is no doubt that this is going to hurt a little. Deshaun Watson is the best quarterback on the Cleveland Browns roster. That includes Dorian Thompson-Robinson, the rookie, and that includes PJ Walker, the former XFL star who's been on the Panthers and now the Browns. He's clearly better than both. I don't think that's arguable. I'll turn it over to Jake to see what he thinks. I think he is better than them. He proved that against my Titans earlier in the year. He proved that for sure. I think he had a really good half of football against Baltimore to end up winning the game. But how much does it hurt? That's what I think. Did you honestly think the Browns were a Super Bowl team with Watson? I didn't. I think the Browns with the defense is really good, but you gotta have a really good quarterback, right? In today's age, it's not enough. I mean, when's the last? So you've had Mahomes and all these guys, Brady, recent Super Bowl winners. The Rams had Stafford, right? So just off the top of my head, their quarterbacks aren't good enough. So I don't think this changes that much. Obviously, they're probably gonna have a worse record without Watson, but that's just my initial thoughts. Jake, what you think?
Yeah, I don't think this Browns team was a Super Bowl. A Super Bowl team? Could they make the playoffs? Yeah. Obviously, the Deshaun Watson news is hurts. Getting back to what Evan was saying, Deshaun Watson is the best quarterback on the Cleveland Browns roster. I fully agree with that. I just believe that we have not seen enough of Dorian Thompson Robinson to say that he is definitely better than Dorian Thompson Robinson.
Um,
Um,
what? Yeah.
nah, you were gonna say something. I'll
Okay,
go back
so
over you.
I'll be quick. You originally agreed with me, and then you disagreed with me because you said you
Yeah,
didn't see Thompson Robinson. I just want to say really quick, we've seen.
I agree for right now, but we will see later. Later in his career, who is the better quarterback.
Okay, that's fair. I think I agree that we haven't seen enough of Dorian Thompson Robinson. I agree what we've seen has been decent. And I
Yeah.
also agree that what we've seen in PJ Walker has not been good enough, right? So we'll just put it that way, right? Um,
Yeah, I think we were having this conversation yesterday. PJ Walker is a quarterback who puts up yards, but he won't do anything like spectacular to win you a football game.
Not only that, he won't be like the Seattle game. I watched that game with Cleveland. How in the world Cleveland lost that game, I have no clue. But Dorian Thompson, or not, excuse me, PJ Walker just did not make the throws. Right.
Well, how did
Big
Baltimore
hold on
lose
just
this
a second.
game?
To my point though, we've seen a lot of Thompson Robinsons come in the past. They've made runs, but he's not going to win the Super Bowl either. Maybe you make a run to the divisional round, kind of like what the Browns have done. The Browns have been a decent team for, we're used to the Browns being terrible, right? The Browns have been, ever since Baker Mayfield came up in 2018, they've been a pretty decent team hanging around the playoff picture. So I think they'll continue doing that this year. But it gives you some hope. Maybe even Dorian Thompson Robinson does turn on that guy. It's like, okay, well, we just need another receiver and then we're locked set. Or maybe Robinson isn't that guy. Well, we just need another we just need another quarterback, but the defense is rock solid. So there's still positives that could come from this year. I just don't think it'd be a Super Bowl. I have more ideas on what the Browns should have done, I guess, but Jake, what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say, how did the Ravens lose that game? I mean, Deshaun Watson, he started 1 for 9, and his first throw from the line of scrimmage was a pick six. How? did Baltimore lose that game?
Yeah, I mean, one for I remember that. I do remember in the pick. If you didn't see the pick, it was like the camera barely even caught it because didn't the defender like come up and like tip it? I forget how it was.
Yeah, I believe you're right.
Yeah, so I mean, no, not a good start, and that's why I said at the beginning of the subject he played one good half. But he
Mhm.
did play a good half. He rebounded, and sometimes that's what a quarterback does, right? But that's interesting. But what I think the Browns messed up, in terms of maybe competing this year, obviously Wentz signed with the Rams, I believe, and some other obviously Josh Dobbs is playing pretty well for Minnesota. We'll see if that holds up. Cleveland probably should have went to go get someone just in case. And now I don't know who's left out there. I know Matt Ryan is calling games for CBS now, so that's probably not going to happen. But this is still salvageable for Cleveland. It's just they probably, if they wanted a little more out of the season, they probably should have went to go grab someone because now they've been without Nick Chubb since September. Now you're without Deshaun Watson. You're just completely riding on that defense, which it is a really good defense. I just, other than the max I see for this team is a divisional round, and that's the max.